With the conclusion of Fallout Season 2 happening, I thought it was only fitting to do a UFC fighters as Fallout factions. Now, which UFC fighters would be which Fallout faction? Just a quick rundown so nobody's confused. For the factions, we have Caesar's Legion, Brotherhood of Steel. This is Super Mutants, but I think we'll include ghouls in this. NCR, Raiders, People's Republic of China, or the Chinese remnants. Starting off with Ilya Taporia, I think everyone instinctively will agree with me that Ilya Taporia belongs to Caesar's Legion. Maybe it's the El Matador factor of symbol with the bull there in the logo, or maybe it's the fact that he's Mediterranean, but I think everyone will agree he's Caesar's Legion because, you know, they don't take shit from anyone and they're ruthless, just like Taporia. Next up, we got Brandon Moreno. Now, I think with his Funko Pop collection, his nerd personality, him just being a guy who doesn't look like he gets too much sunlight, nerdy individual, I think Brandon Moreno fits right in with the Vault Dwellers. Now, I swear to God, with no racial undertones, we got Francis Ngannou, who I think everyone should agree, no racism or that this guy belongs in the Super Mutants, right? He's a Super Mutant FEV Enclave experiment. He's got super strength, super muscles, super height, plus he kind of sounds like a super mutant when he talks as well. Joining Brandon Moreno in the Vault with the Vault Dwellers, we got Daniel Cormier. I think Daniel Cormier fits in the Vault Dwellers because he likes to eat. He's a fat guy. They got lots of good pre-war nummy food in the vaults. I think DC will enjoy snacking on. Plus, being in the vaults, it's a little bit of a life of luxury. No one really works too hard. You don't have to do much physical stuff, maybe a little farming, but DC wouldn't be a farmer. He can sit on his cushy bum all day. Now, where do you guys think Gene Silva fits in this faction? If you chose the Raider faction, you'd be correct. But not for the reasons you think, not because he's a crazy psychopath, but because he's a runt. The Raiders would have Gene Silva as like their dung farmer or like their Brahmin breeder, just general trash guy, sort of like Charlie from Always Sunny, if you know. They would make him go unclog the sewers. The Raider sewers, whatever that looks like in Fallout. Every runt dung farmer needs a leader. So we got Gene Silva to be his overseer of the bandit faction. He can pass all these charisma skill checks, right? With other factions allowing for trade and whatnot. Plus, he's physically intimidating, will successfully be able to lay out the little laws the Raiders have. Mountain Tiger, Zhang Ming Yang. Where would he belong? Recently, I believe he had an 18 first round knockout streak, recently just ended by Johnny Walker. And I think between his crazy fighting style, his ethnic background, he goes in the Chinese remnants. And speaking of his pal, Johnny Walker, I think that Johnny Walker would be one of Chael Sonnen's lackeys, you know, sort of in a Clockwork Orange type of way, you know. If the Raiders need to torture someone, they're gonna send Johnny Walker to do it. He's gonna be doing the actual haka dance in people's faces while they're bound to a chair being interrogated. He'd definitely be a higher rank in the bandits though, given his stature, and he doesn't seem too stupid, but also his willingness to crash out and do actual crazy stuff. Crazy bandit stuff. Another bandit lackey we have joining Johnny Walker and Gene Silva is Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is similar to Gene Silva in the bandit hierarchy where he's the runt of the group, but he's definitely higher than Gene Silva. He's not the dung farmer, but people are picking on him and stuff. Since he's jacked and kind of tall, and he tries to be scary, intimidating, he gets really offended when people don't take him serious. And because of this insecurity is why Sean Strickland isn't able to climb up the rank of the bandits. And for our first NCR entry, we got Carlos Ulberg. I think generic good guy, neutrally good. No one has a problem with him. No one hates him, but no one is a crazy fan of him. Kind of just the neutral good, I think. I think Carlos Ulberg would belong to the NCR. Next up, we got the Leech. Absolute UFC legend. I think he belongs to the faction of the Chinese remnants, right there with Zhang Ming Yang. A lot of you guys won't know who this is. This is Steven Asplund, coming off his win off the Contender Series, and then another win on the last card of 2025. Steven Asplund, I think, just judging from the picture, no one needs to question me at all. He belongs to the Super Mutants. You know how there's like different types of Super Mutants? Some are more intelligent than others. I think Ngannou is one of the more intelligent ones. You can maybe even get a dialogue box to pop up with Ngannou, kind of like Virgil or Fox, you know? But Asplund, he's generic fodder. And I think this picture of him says everything you need to know. And not to mention, His nickname is Concrete. His nickname being Concrete makes me think of the DC Wasteland with how much concrete and rubble there is. What tier list type video would be complete without Alex Proton Pereira? I don't think anyone will disagree with me, just like the El Matador pick, that he belongs right in Caesar's Legion. If you can think of a different one, let me know. But Pereira, he's just got that ruthless style that the Legion does. People would rather get crucified than let whatever Pereira does happen to you. And honestly, I can see him being a Leggett type person. And joining him in Caesar's Legion is Alexander Volkanovski, who honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he became a Caesar. After all, he is Alexander the Great, right? If you disagree with that one, let me know in the comments. Then on the opposing side of Pereira and Volk, we have Dominic Reyes, who I think goes right with Carlos Ulberg in the NCR as kind of generic, one-dimensional good guys. This man's face being on the screen, I think you all instinctively should know what faction out of the ones I have selected that he would belong to. Undoubtedly, Corey Sandhagen, Corey Nerdhagen, belongs to the Vault Dwellers. This guy is in there tinkering with the water purification chip. He's rationing everyone's rations, causing him to be disliked among his fellow Vault Dwellers. And then for our one and only female fighter appearance, we have Zhang Wei Li, my favorite female fighter. I don't see anyone ever taking her spot as my favorite female fighter. I think she belongs right in the Chinese remnants with Leech and Zhang Mingyang. Something about him just, I think, fit there. Now let me know if you guys disagree with this one, but I'm putting Shavkat Rachmanov in the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, one problem that you might have with this is that the Brotherhood of Steel are all focused on technology, when Shavkat Rachmanov is from Kyrgyzstan and he eats horse meat, and I don't know if they have indoor plumbing over there. However, his nomad aura and how he's so reserved, I think he fits in the Brotherhood of Steel. I think he could be like a scribe or something. For our penultimate second to last fighter, we got Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall belongs in the super mutant tier, unsurprisingly, right? Because I think if Tom Aspinall were to exist post-war in the Fallout universe, I think he would be like probably a rad roach or a mole rat. This is based mostly off his personality. When I added him to the tier list, I initially thought he'd be a centaur, but I think rad roach or mole rat fits him better. And with that concludes my which UFC fighters would be what Fallout factions. So here you guys are if you want to look at the list. I think it's pretty good. I feel a little bit bad that I didn't add too many people to the Brotherhood of Steel, just because I think the Brotherhood of Steel isn't too in-depth, right? They don't have much, like I like their lore and stuff, but it's like in terms of character, I don't think they have too much. And then here's the other screen. We have the Chinese remnants, the raiders, the Vault Dwellers. I think this is a banger video. You guys let me know. Like I said, make sure to like and subscribe. And thanks for supporting the channel. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers. I'm hoping to do that by maybe the end of next week or something. So go ahead and hit that like button, please, to support a small channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.